All right, everybody. Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 17 through 21. 17 through 21. For the Lord your God is the God of gods and the Lord of lords, the great God, mighty and awesome, who shows no partiality and accepts no bribes. He defends the cause of the fatherless and the widow. He loves the alien, giving him food and clothing. And you are to love those who are aliens, for you yourselves were aliens in Egypt. Fear the Lord your God and serve him. Hold fast to him and take your oaths in his name. He is your praise. He is your God, who performed for you all those great and awesome wonders you saw with your very own eyes. Okay. There's this show on Netflix called The Sandman. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it. I believe it was a book. I didn't read the book. I don't know. But I like the show. And the show has to do with a bunch of different gods. All right, you got the Sandman, who's like the Lord of Dreams and Nightmares. You've got God of Desire, one of Despair. You have one of Destiny. You have one of Delirium, one of Death, so on and so forth. These different gods, and this had me thinking of all the different gods that we have today. Now, in the Bible, as we just read, there are a lot of different gods out there. And still today, a lot of different gods. And God is calling himself the God of gods. Like, you have all these gods, you have all these things, these people that you worship, but I'm above all those things. I am holy. I am greater than all those things. And deep down, I think we know it. Yeah? Different gods today. Like, we could say social media, we could say, is a god. Right? I'm not saying social media, if you're on it, obviously that is wrong. But there is this need to feed it yourself daily, to feed it yourself hourly, to have, to want all the hits, all the clicks, all the hearts, all the comments, to want all of that attention on yourself. It is like going to a temple and worshiping. It's a god, right? There's a god, of course, of money, which we talk about all the time in church. There's a god of intellect. You're just wrapped up in anything that you can understand. And you're seeking more and more knowledge, which seems like a good thing to seek more and more knowledge, but not if that is your object of worship. Plenty of people who are like that these days. And there were back in the Bible as well. So many different gods. And I think that we worship all these gods. And we can go on. I brought up Sandman because there's, of course, gods of desire and destruction. God of, I think that we do worship despair sometimes. I think there are people who are just kind of caught up in feeling bad, kind of caught up in chaos, causing chaos, being around destruction, and they feel comfortable in that kind of self-loathing. Which brings me to my point of why we stay worshiping these gods. We feel comfortable there. We feel comfortable worshiping money because we feel like we can have some sort of control over that, even though it has control over you, for sure. It's your God. But we feel like we can control the money. We feel like we can control the God of intellect. It's a matter of getting more and more knowledge, something you can wrap your mind around, right? We feel like we can control the God of desire. It's something that you feel like you have control over whatever's going on inside of you and what you want, what you're craving. We feel that way. Again, even though it has control over us, we feel comfortable there. It's like any sort of vice, like a drug, like alcohol, anything like that. Like, we feel like we have control over, and we feel like we can run to it anytime something inside is very wrong. But God is the God of gods, right? So he's the true one. He's the one where if we're in need, he can truly help us. These gods, they bring maybe a temporary fix, maybe a psychological fix, but they can't actually fill that void within us. They can't actually deliver us. They can't actually guide our lives. They can't actually give us wisdom for our lives. You see what I'm saying? Not for everything, not in its completion. And I think that deep down we know it, but we're holding on to this thing that we feel like we can control, kind of to block out our own fragility. Because if we face our own fragility, we'll be led to how big life is and how small we are and how much we actually do need the God of gods. And so we spend a lot of time running away from that feeling. running to all these other gods, running to all these other vices, so that we don't have to deal with that, the depth of knowing, man, we're so small. And talking to people about Christianity, about religion, a lot of people have it wrong. They think that Christianity is all about following rules, following the God of rules. They feel like they disqualify themselves sometimes, thinking that, well, I've done too much wrong and therefore I can't come to Christ. But it's not about your works. It's about coming to God, the God of gods, the Lord of lords. It's about coming to the one who's already done the work. It's about your fragility. It's about recognizing, man, I'm so small. I need this big God. I need the God. And coming to him. He's done all the work already. We're just receiving what God has already done. Yeah? I'll close with just the end of that verse. Verse 20 and 21. Fear the Lord your God and serve him. Hold fast to him and take your oaths in his name. He is your praise and he is your God, who performed for you all these great and awesome wonders and miracles that you saw with your own eyes. And man, God's always calling us. Amen? And we choose every day whether we're going to run to other gods to kind of escape that fragility we're feeling on the inside of us, or we're going to go to God. Are you going to go to God? Because he's calling you. He's calling you right now. He's calling you every single day. Even if you're a Christian, he's always drawing us closer to himself. Are you going to answer that call, or are you going to run away? Your choice there, church. God's grace is there, and like he's putting that yes to him on our tongues. Right? He's drawing us close to him. We just need to let go and just be in his presence, be in his goodness. Amen? Amen.